Hey guys, welcome to my program MIKAILI, where I'll be connecting you weekly to the global kitesurfing community. Today I'm coming at you live from the Three Corners Rihanna Resort and the MIKAILI Beach Club right here in Gouna, Egypt. For those of you who don't know me, I am 16 years old from Brazil and 3 times kitesurfing world champion. Don't forget to comment and ask questions throughout my program. Today my program is a little different. I'm going to tell you all about Gouna, Egypt, an amazing kitesurfing destination on the Red Sea. Let me introduce you to my special guests, Christophe and Nicole Lambrecht. Christophe is the owner of the Three Corners Resort here in Gouna, and Nicole, his daughter, who runs the MIKAILI Beach Club. Let's watch a little video of the Rihanna Resort and MIKAILI Beach Club. Hey guys, how are you doing? How are you guys doing?
How are you?
Good, super. Yeah, how are you guys doing? How was the day? Nicole, I know I was with you today. How was your day, Christophe?
No, I'm fine. I love it here.
Well, Christophe, I'm going to start with you, but Nicole, feel free to pipe in anytime. Christophe, tell us your story. Where do you come from and how did you end up in Gouna, Egypt?
Yeah, it's a nice story. I mean,
it's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah. I mean, I arrived in 1987, 3rd of July.
That's like maybe explaining years.
Yeah, 33 years. I think you were not born yet. And my father didn't want I work for someone. He wanted to do my own business. And in Belgium, I didn't see any future with a small capital. So he gave me a one-way ticket and $20,000 and to start something in Egypt. 2 years before, he told me, I found it. I say, you found what? Yeah, where you would go to work. I found a place. And he say, where? Egypt, Red Sea. And say, Red Sea, Black Sea, Dead Sea, Caspian Sea. So I didn't see the sea in front of me. I was at that time, maybe I was a little bit older then. I was maybe 18, 19 years old. And my mother told, no, they have to finish their studies and then they can go. So we finished our studies 1st of July. And 3rd of July, my brother and me, my older brother, we had a one-way ticket. Each one had $20,000. My brother would do something in Cairo in the textile. And he dropped me literally in the Red Sea. And there was nothing there. Nothing. 5,000 people living there. There was no restaurants. There was no discotheque. There was no, I mean, not even girls there. So I was literally in the desert. So, and then I started with an ice cream saloon and a discotheque. So I made my own discotheque. So, and then later, 2 years later, we started with a hotel, leasing a small property. And then we had some rooms, and like this, we started from literally scratch, from zero.
Well, okay, just for you guys to know, like, Fabio, can you show us the map of Egypt, actually, the map of Gouna? It literally looks like a giant desert. Like, there's barely, it's just Gouna and then desert and then Hurghada. It's like barely anything. But no, Christophe, I know, like my mom, she traveled from the United States to work in, I think it was Bolivia, at a school for a few years. And after that, she decided, okay, well, I'm just going to go on a 2-year motorcycle like trip, and just went alone with a backpack and like a camping bag, and just would sleep out in the open, and just did that for 2 years. And she got to Brazil and met my father after she had a motorcycle accident, and she had to do rehab where my dad lived. And then they decided to, okay, we're just going to move to Jerry because it was really good for windsurfing there, or she heard that it was really good for windsurfing there. And they went there, and then they just, okay, well, I guess we're going to just start like a little business here and start building hotels. And they started with they lived in I think it was a 3-wall room for a few years, trying to build their hotel. And my mom and my dad would also be there, like building everything. So they also started from literally scratch.
That's really cool. Yeah, you met Mama at his cha-cha disco.
Yeah, I met my Susan at Chacha Disco. She thought I was a public relation guy. Yeah, it was quite cool. Yeah, and then when I knew my wife, I told to my mother I cannot continue the discotheque because
There's no point anymore. He met his girl now.
He was just like, oh well, no, there's no reason for a discotheque anymore.
Next up.
Yeah.
Next step. Well, Christopher, what was Gouna like 33 years ago when you first got, like, actually, like, what was it like, and what was it like seeing it change from being barely anything to what it is now?
And when I arrived, Gouna did not exist. And my father is a visionaire, and he met the owner of Gouna, Samih, and he told to me, and my mother said, Gouna, this will become something. So we went to Gouna in 1991, and there was one villa and 36 rooms. And then we say, where are we? In the middle of the desert, nothing. And at the end, luckily that my father is a visionaire. I mean, he was, when China opened, he was in China. My father was in the textile business and the carpet business. And he always, like, when you talk to him, it's not about today. It's like in 6 months, 5 years, he always sees long in front. And then what's Gouna today? And I would say 30 years ago is crazy. I mean, there was nothing. No, you have two golf courses. You have 2 marinas. You have around 3,000 rooms. You have around 5,000 apartments and villas and everything. And it's man-made lagoons, and you have all restaurants. I mean, they don't have a Brazilian restaurant, but they have.
Maybe you should start one, Mikael, and have
no barbecue.
Yeah, and Lagoon is fantastic. You have all the small islands and reefs around, and the location. I mean, it's very clean, very secure. I mean, it's like home. I would not live. I mean, more secure in the world. I don't know. I mean, we leave our doors open. We leave our cars open.
Say that.
I mean, so now
somebody's gonna go like, oh, they leave their doors open. Let's go.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, here it's not a problem. Everybody knows everyone.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's a bubble.
Yeah.
Well, I know what challenges my family faced when they first moved to Brazil. Were there any main challenges you faced when you first began building in Gouna?
I mean, the challenges that we had was, I mean, when you're young, you don't think about it. You just work and you just do it. And whatever you face in front of you, you find solutions. I mean, in the beginning, when I arrived in Egypt and the Red Sea, we didn't have water and sometimes no electricity. And then there was the first time in my life I was thinking, from where is coming the water? Why we don't have water when we open the crate? Why we don't have water when we flush? So then you start to think about, this was the whole beginning. And because Hurghada was only, where the town was only 5,000 people, there was nearly no infrastructure. Even the airport was like, there was no really building the airport. I mean, when the plane arrived, they come with a car, and then you pick up the luggage. There was not even a belt. I mean, today, the infrastructure they built in the last 20 years is incredible. So now we have a huge airport. We have, I mean, unbelievable connections with streets. Electricity and water is unbelievable now. Before, when you take phones, I wanted to phone home, and I was trying phoning, and the whole day trying to get connection, and then it was making. So I wanted to complain to the telephone communication, and I was in the post house, and then I saw these ladies with these lines going, and then I said, okay, I will not phone anymore, I give up. And now you have your phone, social media. We're sitting in Egypt here on YouTube. I mean, it's so 33 years our problem was there was communication. I mean,
but you always told me there's never a problem, there's only solutions.
Yeah, I never saw problems in my life. I always see every problem has a solution. Whatever it is, you can make it happen as long you're healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, now with COVID and everything, that's pretty hard to stay healthy as well, wearing masks and trying to keep distance. But Lagoon is really good with that, because most of the people to get into Lagoon in general, you have to have a negative test, I assume, or that's what I heard, right?
Yeah, like when you arrive at the airport, then you have to have either you have to have a negative PCR test when you arrive, or you take one directly when you land on the plane, and then they get back to you with the test results. And then in all the hotel rooms, they have for when you leave also that you take the PCR test at the hotel.
Oh, that's cool.
So really,
that's
really yeah, Mika. So when you leave, you just chill in your room, and then they tell you, okay, now it's your turn, and then you don't even have to go to the hospital.
Sounds good. Yeah, no. When I took a COVID test because I was in Marseille, and somebody had COVID. So we went. Well, actually, Natalie ended up getting a positive COVID test. So we ended up coming back here and having to take a COVID test. And when we were getting the results, and Mickey, you remember Mickey, right?
Yeah.
Mickey was like in the thing getting our results, and there was this one lady there that was just there, like looking really like stressed out, and the girl like opened her thing, and it was like, you're positive, and the girl didn't have her mask on, and then the one that was looking at the documents or whatever, like the paper, was like, can you move back, please? And Mickey was just like, okay, COVID, yay. And she was like, yeah, I know COVID, but they didn't answer the phone, so she had to go there. But yeah,
it's a weird years we're living in right now.
Yeah, gotta make the best out of it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, where were your kids? Well, Natalie and Nicole born in Egypt, or did they go? Where were they born somewhere else?
No, both were born in Costa Rica. Both of them. Yeah.
Why were you born in Costa Rica?
No, my wife and me, we started the business in Costa Rica, and they were born then, and then we came back to Egypt. We were in Costa Rica from 1996 until 2001. And Natalie was born in 98 and Nicole in 2001.
So, Mika, I got a whole of 6 months living in Costa Rica, so I'm really experienced there.
Yeah.
Are you fluent in Spanish, Nicole?
Not at all.
No.
I only know one sentence, and it's a very important sentence. Una cerveza, por favor.
That very important question, right, Nicole? No, so did you guys go to school in Egypt, or did you go to school in Sweden? Because I know you live part-time in Sweden and in Egypt as well.
So when me and Natalie, we moved here, so after Costa Rica, and then it's not like the same school system, but I studied here until I was 14.
No, you studied here until you were 10.
Oh.
And Natalie was 13.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go. And then I moved to Sweden for a couple of years because we wanted to study a bit in Sweden and live there and try out the school system there. But then as soon as I graduated, as Natalie did, we moved back because there's no better place to be than in Lagoon, actually.
I mean, once you live in Gouna, and the people coming here, they always come back. I mean, you cannot describe it why. I mean,
ask Fabio.
Yeah. I mean, Fabio would come once, and then he came back, and now he wants to live here.
No, Fabio basically lives here now, He's like, he doesn't leave. He left on the 7th, and he's coming back on the 17th, back and forth. No, but like when you and Natalie moved back to Sweden, did Christophe, did you stay in Egypt, or did you go back?
No, I stayed here. Susan, the Mama went with Natalie, Nicole, and I stayed here. It was a little bit for us. We want the best for the kids. The education is, for me, number one, so that the kids has good education. And then for us, I mean, if you have kids, priority children. And then we look to ourselves. And but I would have preferred that family would be together, but you cannot have everything.
How was that when Natalie and Nicole and Susan were away for such a long time for school, or did you go back and forth visiting them?
Yeah, I went back and forward. I tried always to every month, or they came or I went there. Yes, that was nice to
traveling, just like back and forth every month, one of you guys.
Yes, every month, every 6 weeks, 3 weeks, depends. Yeah.
That would not be easily now.
And each holiday they came over, so I was happy. Yeah. And
That's
the nice
nice.
thing was while they
Egypt.
Yeah. The nice thing was that they learned another culture, another mentality, another system, and I was very happy for this. And I learned a lot also about the Swedish system. And then you can appreciate also when you come back to
the heat, the openness, the mindset. It's like it's a different.
No, I know. Like for my brother and I, school was always like really challenging for my parents because my mom had the hotel, and my dad was always running around doing errands for her. So my mom would bring in private teachers to Brazil, and they would live with us for like 6 months. And right now we're both doing online high school, so it just is all like self-paced, and it's very good. But yeah, but now you all you guys live in Laguna full time now, no?
Correct. Yes, we all live. I'm the most happy one.
It's all the girls and Dad and Maeve.
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you for sharing your background with us. It's great. You guys, well, Christophe, you're actually a big adventurer. I mean, like, to come to Egypt in the middle of nowhere when you were, how old were you when you came here?
21.
Yeah, just like, okay, I'm just gonna go to Egypt in the middle of nowhere. That's a true adventure there. Yeah. Well, Fabio, let's show the video about Three Corners Resorts now. Well, guys, that's Christophe. That's the hotel. It looks beautiful. It's amazing. But I just got room service, so I have to go get that.
I wonder what it could be.
Yes. Thank you. All right, guys, I just got 2 bottles of water to my room right now because I was really, really thirsty. But anyways, that you see, I'm staying at the Rihanna Resort right now, and it is incredible. There are like shopping centers, cinema. There's actually a cinema here. I didn't even know that until today. I was walking around, and I was like, wait a second, there's a cinema here? It's so cool.
For a movie.
Yeah, and they have the latest movies. There's 3.
I know. I saw that. I was like, that's so cool. But there's so many swimming pools, activities for kids, and so much more. Like, the food is amazing. The buffet is just, it's incredible. And it's like basically right on the beach. But I'll let Christophe tell you all about that. So back to you, Christophe. Tell us about the Three Corners Resorts.
I mean, we have 2 hotels in Gouna. The one is Three Corners Rihanna, where we stay in. It's a family resort. And then we have Three Corners Ocean View, who is in the marina, who is the adults-only resort. You have to be minimum 16 years old, so now you can go also to Ocean View. And so this is the 2 resorts. You're staying in one of the renovated rooms. We renovated this year 80 of the 160 rooms of that block. We renovated the other rooms before. So in totally we have 434 rooms, but I don't know how many pools we have. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You don't know how many pools you have in your own hotel?
I thought you were going to say at home. I was like,
Yeah. No, I think 5 or 6 pools. I mean, with the slides and the small water park. And,
have you tried the water park, Miguel?
No, I haven't. I haven't gotten a chance to do that, actually. You know what? I'm going to have you come with me one of these days and just be like, let's go, Nicole.
Yeah, we can see who slides the fastest. So I'm a little bit more heavy. So
no excuse.
Yeah.
No, the
I'm
heavier the faster you go, I think you get the momentum, you know?
Okay, maybe Mika, we have to go together so we beat him.
Yeah, we'll try that for sure. Well, can you guys explain to our viewers what is the best way to get to Gouna, and how far is Gouna from Hurghada?
I mean, it depends from where you fly. I mean, from Europe, normally, because now of Corona time, there is direct flights from each big European city directly to Hurghada. There is the international airport, and it's 20 minutes driving from Hurghada to Gouna. So it's 20 minutes. If you come from Brazil like you come, the best is through Turkish Airlines, that you fly through Istanbul, and then Istanbul directly Hurghada.
Oh yeah, no, my flight actually took like 20 some hours to get there. It was really long, but it was totally worth it. I had to go Fortaleza, São Paulo, so I had to go from the north down to the south of Brazil to go back up north to Istanbul. So I had like a 5-hour layover in São Paulo, and then I had like a 3-hour layover in Istanbul, and then I flew to Hurghada. So it was like a pretty big trip.
Yeah.
But now in COVID, the most of the flights that fly regularly is in Europe is from Switzerland, from Zurich.
Yeah, the most is now we have direct flights from Switzerland to Hurghada, from Poland, from Belarus, from Czechia. So these are the main guests today, and Ukraine from Kiev. Normally our main guests are Germans, Belgium, Dutch, and Scandinavian, but at the moment they are not coming. So, but we are very lucky. We still have all these guests, and that we can still pay all the bills, keep all our employees. I mean, I have around 1,300 employees in Egypt. So we are quite lucky. Yes. I mean, we have 8 hotels in total in Egypt. Yeah.
You have how many?
8.
How many?
8.
8.
8. Yeah.
I have so many.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Gouna, Christophe, can you tell us why Gouna is extremely safe and a place to visit, and how different it is from the rest of Egypt?
I mean, Gouna is like it's a controlled gates community, and you have to enter, and everybody who enters has to have has to be registered from all employees. So everybody knows who works here and who doesn't work here. I mean, it's very clean. The green area is fantastic. If you wake up early in the morning, you see them cleaning even the sand on the streets and the roundabouts. So you will not find. Yes, we had a huge wind the last 3 days.
The sandstorm.
It was nearly sandstorm. And the next morning, you don't find any sand on the street anymore.
Because they just wake up super early and just take it all off.
Yeah, they have their job to clean, so super clean. It's super secure. I mean, they have their own security, but even Egypt itself is very secure. I mean, people have sometimes a wrong impression, but the small criminality in Egypt do not exist. Because if you steal in Egypt a watch, you can go in 48 hours when they catch you, you can go to 6 months in prison, only stealing a watch. So,
really?
So people, it's not in their culture to steal. I mean, people live in MIKAILI Beach Club. I don't know how many people sometimes we have, and they leave their phones, they leave their bags, they leave everything there. And since 2 years.
I'll leave my phone on the table and go kiting.
Yeah. So, and nobody said, "Oh, I lost something." No, sometimes we go, "Hey, who forgot his phone?" Or somebody left his wallet on the table. Hey, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, people have the wrong impression of Egypt, but it's much more the Egyptian people are. I've traveled a bit, and like they're the nicest people I've ever met, and so openness, and it's such a like warm-hearted people, and perfect place to grow up in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Egyptian people because when you live in a country, you have to love the people. And if the people are nice, then you can live there. I mean, and
Right.
the people in Egypt are very, very, I mean, they're friendly. Even they're in problems, they make from everything a joke. They will always laugh about it. So, and it's nice. I mean, I always say if people cannot make a joke, they are not Egyptians. Yeah.
Well, actually, talking about the MIKAILI Beach Club, Nicole, how did the dream of the beach club become a reality for your family?
The thing is, it's like it's such a family affair where like all of us have contributed to what it has become today, and it just amazes me. Like when I just like look down and I'm like, oh, where did all these people come from? When it was just like nothing. We had like 2 waiters, 1 person working in the kitchen, all of us in family running around fixing different stuff, and then when
I love doing that. Oh, you're still in the kitchen, like working up your sleeve.
I can't help myself. I'm just a bit of a control freak, but it's just really cool to see like it evolving by itself. And I think just part of like everyone contributing with what they're strong with, evolving into this amazing place where, yeah, I'm just really proud of it.
Yeah. No, we want to give the right vibe, that the people feel really comfortable and that they feel home. And this is for us the most important.
For sure. Well, actually, Fabio, let's take a look at the MIKAILI Beach Club. I think he has super right on the beach. It's so nice. Like actually, it was my first time, my 3rd time in Egypt, but it's my first time going to the MIKAILI Beach Club. And I think the first time I went in there, I was like, wow, this place is really nice. It's really chill. And like just the vibe that you get when you go in there is just really relaxed, and everybody's just so nice. The staff are just so like nice to talk to, and they're all joking around with you. And once you get to know them, they're just like know exactly what your order is. Like I don't even have to go up to the bar. They're just like, here's your drink.
With
Chicken curry.
just pineapple.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like they just know exactly what you want. But Nicole, are you the 19-year-old boss of MIKAILI Beach Club?
Boss? No, I would say they call me the mini boss, but I would say I'm co-managing. It's a family affair, and we're all helping each other to take care of the people. I don't like calling myself a boss.
You're basically a boss, Nicole. Like you're the one, if somebody's doing something wrong, you go there and you're like, guys.
Yeah,
Actually,
she's a born leader. Like you're the born kite world champion. She's the born leader.
Yeah, the born leader, manager, boss.
Okay, we can stick to mini boss, and I will slightly agree.
Now, what I love from Nicole is that she leads by example. She's not afraid to work. She can show the people the work. She trains them. She learns them to make granola. She learns them to make acai bowl. She learns them how to things that they are not used, like smoothies, the green smoothies. So
non-sugar.
I mean, she wants to bring in the young freshness and the more updated version. So, I mean, I'm very lucky, and we are very lucky to have her, because I learned from her. So, and I'm more than 30 years in the business.
Well, actually, Nicole, I know in Brazil, like it was very hard, like men respecting women and being like in charge of them. Do the Egyptian workers respect taking orders from you being a woman? I know it sounds crazy, but like in Brazil, it was really hard for my mom. Like they did not listen to her at all. Like they had to waited until my dad would come there and be like telling them what to do, because they were just like at first like, no, like why would we listen to you? You're a girl, like you don't know anything, you know?
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Like there's a lot of like people talk a lot about that, like being someone who's like a girl or a woman, and especially at my young age, that people, why would people listen to you, kind of. And but it actually it they do really respect me, and I think it also has to do with me showing by example. So like I earned their respect through working in the bar, standing on my feet, like working my butt off like for hours and hours in the exact same way as they did. And then they kind of understood, okay, she can work hard. And then after that, I think I've never had an issue with anyone saying anything for me. It's more that they would do it directly. And I find they really have great respect for me. And I love that, and I wouldn't really feel affected as a girl or a woman in Egypt.
I would say in Egypt, if you lead by example and you work with them and you show you know what you do, then you automatically earn the respect. If you would just be boss and say things,
and
they would not
tell them what to do. They wouldn't. They would just be like,
no,
"No,
but
you're not."
when it was busy, sometimes Nicole jumps in and then they look, oh my goodness.
And then they're all like, oh, straightening their backs. They're like, no.
So,
no, I think they're like, no, when you're just like, okay, I'm going to come up with a new recipe today. And like, just like in there, they're all like, Nicole, we've had a lot of
one more recipe. I'm like, sorry, guys, my brain's working.
But then you're like, but it's so good. Like, try this. It's amazing. And they're like, we have to change the whole menu again.
I think they love-hate me for
gotten used to it. I think they've gotten used to it. That's why.
True. Yeah, I thought when I went away for some vacation that they would say they would not miss me, but I did get a lot of messages from you where they were all like, "Oh, when is she coming back?" And so I must be doing something okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I think they love her. Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. No, but like talking about the restaurant and food and making menus, I know you're all about eating healthy. Tell us about your amazing menu that you have.
Like the point for Makani, or it's coming back to the whole point of Makani, is that Makani actually means my place in Arabic and wind in Hawaiian. So it's kind of why we chose the name and why we want everyone to feel at home. And that counts in food. Like a lot of people have, especially me as a plant-based, you can't go everywhere to get food. Like sometimes you go somewhere and they're like, I'm like, oh yeah, you have a vegan option. Yeah, and then you get vegetables and it's like, okay, there is more to it. And I think like having a diverse menu so everyone feels at home and everyone feels comfortable with being able to eat whatever they want is the main goal. And for me, that is healthier options and plant-based options. And that's my main interest and actually what I'm studying right now. But yeah, I'm really happy with the menu so far, and it's still a lot of new things that are coming, but it's the freshness of it, and that everyone can eat no matter what, if they're lactose intolerant or if they're gluten or if they're vegan or if they want their cheeseburger or their chicken curry, it's going to be there too, just in
yeah, add the chicken curry. No, that's super nice. I know, like the food there, I think I've stuck to a chicken curry for like the last like 3 weeks because it's just so good. I don't want to change it. I'm like, maybe I'll change today, but then I'm like the chicken curry is just so good. I don't think I could change it.
Yeah, you should try the halloumi mango chutney burger. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Well, my favorite is the salmon quinoa salad. Yeah.
That's what I was going to have today, and then I went to ask, and they didn't have it, and I was like, That's sad.
Uh,
But no, I'll definitely get it tomorrow. No, yeah. Tell us about kite surfing and the kite surfing club, Nicole.
So what's so nice with Egypt or Lagoon as a destination is there's not like a specific wind season. There's wind all year round, but it's more predictable, like from April to, I would say, October, that there's like predictable to be wind all the time. Like you can't promise wind, but the wind season is really good. And from that time on, you don't need to have a wetsuit anymore. And that's one of my favorite things.
You were in a 5'4" today, and I was in a 2'2" shorty.
But it's because I'm a local and I'm always
I'm
cold.
from Brazil, Nicole.
True. I'm still. I can't count myself as a Viking. Like normally, I'm from Sweden, so I should be able to tolerate this cold weather. But I must blame it on that I'm raised here, so I'm not that cold-blooded. But technically, it was a good idea since we actually when we went downwind, and then we were like, should we kite upwind? Should we kite up? We took a tuk-tuk up.
no.
So we kited downwind, and then we stopped the tuk-tuk, and we were like, yeah, do you think you can take us back to MIKAILI? They were like, yeah, of course.
They had to hide me.
Yeah,
they were like, yeah, because it's only two people per tuk. Well, for you guys to know, like a tuk-tuk is like a they converted like a motorcycle-ish scooter into a 3-person car. I don't know, Nicole, you can describe it way better than me. You live here.
Yeah, and now they even it's like a Vespa, but like you sit like 3 people in it, and it's like covered. And now they even have electric ones here, and I find that pretty cool with the development. That even like where you would say this is a development country, that they have these electronic bikes. I find it sick. But Gouna as a town is really like has the sustainable mindset and it's very forward in its thinking.
No, yeah, for sure. Well, tell us, what are the best months to visit Gouna, and tell us about the kite surfing conditions and the spots, because I know there are so many spots to visit. You can even go on a boat for weeks and just visit so many different kite spots within the location.
Yeah, there's like the Red Sea is just breathtaking. It's like you can travel and go to different seas, but like it's so clear and so many different shades of turquoise blue. And in front of MIKAILI, it's like long, deep. So it's like a really big area for both pros, for beginners to be able to learn, but also for pros to continue like evolving their skills. And there's so much space because the Red Sea is so huge. So you can just like continue upwind. You can do like we did. We went downwind to different spots. And even like my favorite thing is going 10 minutes from MIKAILI up, and there's this like little pool in the middle of the sea called Bayut, and there the colors are insane. But you can also take boat trips, which is also one of our favorite things to do, is to like Tawila. Many people have heard of as a kite spot where it's like super flat, white beaches, blue seas, and a lot of people don't think of that when they think of Egypt. But there are so many hidden gems of islands of kite spots. For you and Nally who love the flat spots, then that.
Yeah, and you always have the dolphins.
Yeah, you always have the dolphins for when there's no wind. You can just go rent. I think you can rent a boat and just go out to where they are and just go swimming with the dolphins. I did that like a week ago, and I was so close to the I wanted to touch them, but the guy said you can't touch him, and I was like, please, can I just like finger just like touch him?
Yeah,
But
it's like really about respecting the animal life, because it's our playground, but it's their playground too. And like dolphins are such magical creatures. And here, what I love with like, especially the boat trip you went on, so Red Sea Unlimited, they're very much for respecting the nature and animals. Like, people don't go around poking us, from outside. So it's all about respecting the animals that's around us too.
Yeah,
so sure. You can touch them.
This is for people who are very curious. Like, well, not curious. There are people who want to come here. What are the kite sizes that you should bring, or what is a typical wind condition?
It's diverse. I would say it's very mixed. Like the other day we had like over plus 30 knots, and today we had.
It was close to like 40 knots.
Yeah, it was insane, and it was super. So I was going out in 7, and the Beach Boys, they were like looking at me. They're like, 7, maybe you should take a 6. I was like, no, I'm gonna go with the 7. I was definitely overpowered, but it was good anyway. But I would say,
I mean, March and April, yeah,
more stable wind
and more stronger winds. And then the summer, you have more constant wind and more always wind, but lighter. So in the summer, you have a 9,
more
12,
freestyle wind.
9, 12, 14. And March, April, like now, we had quite some days, a little bit 7 to 9. The only thing is when you have this strong winds, it can be more gusty. But the advantage normally of the Red Sea, it's very, I mean...
It's pretty flat.
Very steady.
Yeah, there's no waves. It's just a little chop, and when it's windy, the waves and like the current actually makes like these chops, but it's really nice. Even if the wind is like going down or in the late afternoon, it's just super cool to kite.
But early summer is, like he says, it's like the most like predictable wind. And it's the warmest weather. Like you don't need a wetsuit. You wear a wetsuit because you want to protect yourself from the sun.
Yeah, and then you're just boiling out there. Like what did you say last year? It reached like 40. How many degrees?
Like 43 degrees in September, like end of August. It's super warm. It's like 43 degrees. But because that's why we're so grateful that there's always wind. Because if there wouldn't be any wind, it would be too warm.
I mean, the weather is a dry heat. And the dry heat, I love the summers in Egypt because it's dry heat. And with the wind, it's so nice. I mean,
because you don't really feel it. It's not humid or anything.
No, if you would have 28 degrees humid in Europe, then I prefer 40 degrees dry heat. And so, I love the warm weather, except if the wind comes from the south. Then, and this happens maybe 3 weeks in a year, it can happen in the winter or in the summer. But if it happens in the summer, normally the wind dies.
And then it's just
for 1 day or 3 days, and then it's very hot. Then you don't want to be there.
Inside of the AC, just hiding, just like.
Yes, yeah. But it's 3 weeks in a year, over the whole year. If it happens in Christmas and New Year, then you say yes. But then there is no wind. Because the south wind, it's maybe half a day wind or 1 day storm, but it doesn't happen a lot.
3 weeks a year. That's
3 weeks a year. Normally it's northeast, northwest wind prevailing.
Like you've been having the past weeks.
Yeah. It's been really good, like strong, and then like the wind goes from being super strong to light to being like really perfect for freestyle, and it's just you get like big air, you can do strapless, you can do everything here basically. Yeah. No, okay, so Nicole, I have another question for you about the kite school. Tell us how your setup is for the tourists, and are there Beach Boys helping them, your guests?
Yeah, so like the setup is that like either you can book in advance through MIKAILI's website or send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook, and we can set you up if you want to get teaching or if you already can kite. Then we have renting, so we have duotone stuff for in the storage, and all our guys help. No matter what, to say how the wind's looking, what size you should take. So like for me, like every morning I go and I'm like, I don't look at the wind. I'm like, so what size should I take? But the Beach Boys are super helpful. They will help you choose your kite. They'll help you set up and explain you a bit about the spot when you arrive. So you kind of understand, okay, where should I stay? And we have rescue boats. So if anything would happen, then there's always someone out there keeping an extra eye, or if you lose your board for a minute, then there's always someone there behind you super fast. You're like, I am fine, but they're like always ready to help.
No, but also like, I feel like Lagoon in general or Mercani is just great place to learn how to kite because you're super close to the water, you just pump up right there. You have people, you have like rescue, you have everything there in case something happens. It's super shallow. It's not really shallow. It's like,
but it's like, so you can walk some like
yeah,
low
so you
tide,
can walk, but you can't. Yeah, so like if your body dragging in, you can still like put your feet on the ground and like hold steady, so you're not just like going completely downwind. So I think it's a great spot to go kiting.
It's a perfect spot to learn, and it's definitely a perfect spot just to come and evolve. Yeah, like you. If you're also a professional kitesurfer like Mika, then it works for her too.
Yeah, no, it's great. And also, like, besides Makani Beach, you also have Beach Monkeys, which is a gym, which super cool gym. It's like almost like a jungle gym, because you have like all the things, like all the bars and the monkey bars, and they're just super great. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Beach Monkeys is located in MIKAILI Beach Club. So we work together, and it's like it's kind of a community tribe. So they have a Nirvana who started it, is an old gymnast, and that's why it's called Beach Monkeys, because it's kind of a monkey vibe. Like there's different classes, everything from hot iron, which is like weightlifting with kind of CrossFit inspired, to spinning in like really like cool like lights where you really get in the zone. But it's the community feeling. It's like a lot of the whole point with Gouna also is that everyone knows everyone, and Beach Monkeys is a part of that, where you kind of have your tribe, where you connect with different people who want to work out, who want to get their endorphins kicked, and it's a super cool setup. And especially like when you're training on the water, often you also want to train off the water, which is a super important balance. And then you have the gym directly. If the wind suddenly dies, you still have the gym there where you can train stability.
Actually, Nicole, let's play. I'm going to have Fabio play the video so people get the real concept and how nice the gym actually looks. So Fabio, you play the video of Beach Monkeys.
4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Going to squat. 4, all you walk. A reminder to be loving, to be kind to yourself and to others.
As you guys can see there, it's like you have so many different things that you can do just at that gym, and it's right there at your disposal. And it's just great. I've been working out there with Fabio the past few weeks, and I know Nicole, that's like the first thing you do in the morning. You go there, and I just see Nicole like lifting weights and stuff. But yeah, it's super cool. You know, go ahead.
It's amazing how like you can go for your kite session, or like I can do like me in the morning. I like to work out and then go kite, because it kind of, you know, it adds my shower after the kiting. But like that you can go for a long vinyasa, stretch out, and yeah, it's super cool to have everything in the same place. You don't have to go anywhere at the end.
No, yeah, for sure. It's like you have it right there. But also, Gouna has so many different activities that you can do. Christophe, Nicole, you want to talk a little bit about that? Feel free to add in anything you want.
I mean, if there is no windy day, you have 2 golf courses, or you have the boats where you can visit the dolphins. I think the Red Sea is one of the nicest sea for snorkeling or diving in the world.
You don't even have to go deep, and you just see the amazing colors, the fishes, the dolphins, the turtles.
Yeah, and then you have the desert also, where you have a small canyon behind it. Where we can go hiking, and the walks is fantastic. Then you have paddle courts, you have squash courts, you have tennis courts,
go-karting,
you have go-karting, you have motocross. I mean, you have it at the end all in Gouna, whatever you can think you want to do.
You can do it.
And then you have the lagoons where you can go on the paddle boards and go to lagoons, and subbing, can go kayaking. I mean,
but like Gouna really isn't just for kiters. A lot of the tourists are just coming here to get away from Europe and just coming here to relax and have fun, but it really is a kiting paradise.
Yes, it's a kiting paradise. And the good thing is, normally when you have kiting paradise, you don't have a town like next to it where you can do all these activities. And you have, I don't know how many restaurants they have. They have over 100 restaurants. I mean, you have 3 Italian owners who has restaurants. You have a Vietnamese who has a Vietnamese restaurant. You have 2.
Mika's favorite.
Mika's favorite. You have 2 Indian. I mean, you have a burger restaurant. I mean, even we have a burger restaurant. The Garage. I don't know if you went there already.
Did I not?
I went 2 days ago, actually.
2 days. Yes. So which burger you had?
I had the big one, like the giant one.
Oh, you had the double one.
Yeah, Maxime Chutney make his own burger, and he wrote it down on the wall.
Really?
Yes, I'll show you where he wrote it down. So
yeah, but it's just so diverse. Like he says, like often in kite spots, there's not a lot of town except Tarifa and some other places. But like here, you have the town, you have the vibe, you have the community, and so many different activities. And yeah, who wouldn't want to come kite here?
No, exactly. Like if you think about it, if you go to Dakla or something, it's amazing for kiting, but it's a desert. Like we're in a desert right now, but there's actually a community, a village that you can go to and have fun and be kiting and go kiting in the daytime and go to have a nice dinner and not just be stuck at a hotel because you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and plus you can go out clubbing.
in COVID times.
Yeah, I will not tell your mother. No.
I'm good. I'll rather sleep,
Yes.
She has to get up early for kite sessions.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, but if anyone is planning a kite surfing vacation, this is the destination you don't want to miss. The Three Corners Resort, Makani Beach Club, definitely need to be on your bucket list. Like, it is just incredible. I would definitely come back here as many times as I could.
You're always welcome. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Christophe, Nicole, I think our time is coming to the end. Do you have anything else you want to add or anything you would like to say?
No, we are very happy to have you here with us, Mika.
Yeah.
And we're very happy. You're a fantastic soul. As young girl you are, I think.
Such an inspiring,
yes,
driving person, and it's so cool to be around someone who with so much drive, who's just inspiring everyone around, and you can see everyone in the community getting a bit, like they're like, oh, do you see that girl shredding out there? I'm like, yeah, I think I know who that is.
Yeah, Natalie told to me that you were kiting in a little lagoon upwinds. Downwind. And then the people ask, who is this? And she's Brazilian. Oh, this crazy Brazilians.
That's so funny. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and talk to me and be on my show this evening. It's been a real pleasure to be able to interview you both, and I look forward to my rest of my stay here at the Rihanna Resort. And you guys are just an incredible family, and I love you guys dearly. Thank you for being here.
We love you too, Mika.
I mean, dream and put your targets, and you can reach the sky if you want to.
For sure. Well, guys, stay tuned for next week where I'll be interviewing Carlos Mario and Alex Neto from Brazil. It's going to be so nice. So it's going to be next Thursday, I believe, but it's going to be great. I'm going to post it on my Instagram, so guys, keep following that. It's going to be good. Thanks to V and Fabio for managing the entire program all the way from Brazil. I miss you guys and your dog, Kira and Maui. Thanks for joining me, and see you guys next week.